What is up, boys and girls? It's Seb here with Modify Up. Did you buy cheap coilovers? That's right, I'm talking to you. Don't worry, in this episode, I'm going to show you how to stop them from leaking and stop them from seizing up. So let's check it out. So today, whilst working on the daily IS250, it occurred to me how many people whinge and badmouth certain brands about their longevity and quality. Now, there are times when cheap really is cheap and you get what you pay for, but there's also times when a bit of sensibility can go a long way. Now, this being my daily and also a non-turbo auto car, there's a snowflake's chance in hell I'll ever drive this thing hard. Like most Filipinos, I'm more concerned about how much fuel I can save on the trip rather than how fast I can get there. But with future cruiser mods coming for this car, it was time for a ride height drop. I was lucky enough to be gifted these coilovers for review, but after much back and forth, I've decided to leave the brand name out of this and shoot a how-to, as I wasn't happy with the end result. A major change in valving and spring rates was required to bring this up to an acceptable level, and that's just not something you would expect when shelling out rupees for a well-known brand, even if it is on the cheaper side of reputations. Enough of that, let's get into it. As with all coilover work, start by taking your ground to fender measurements so you have a base to work with. I always start by removing all interior and engine bay trims and loosening the strut tops, leaving one nut on a few threads. So when you're working underneath the car, the struts are held up. Then you can simply spin that one nut off with a free hand and the whole strut will fall out with a flick of a finger. So get everything prepped and then raise the car up to get your wheels off. On a car like the IS250, you're going to have covers on covers on covers, and the wheel well is no different, so get your guard liners out before you start pulling the bottom of the struts apart. When working on the rear, it's sometimes easier to drop the lower control arm to give yourself some extra wiggle room. Now you can pull your struts out and jump onto the fronts. Again with the fronts, I always see people struggling to get a job done, trying to take apart the least amount of parts they can to access something. But in my experience, if it's in your way or preventing you from doing something, just get it out of there. So in the spirit of this, let's disconnect the upright from the upper arm and get that strut out. And here we have the new suspension ready to go in. Or is it? Okay, so now I'm going to show you the secret sauce. With these cheaper coilovers, they're prone to leaking, so the easiest way to safeguard against this is to prepare before you even put them in the car. So let's pull it apart. Once we get the top hat off, spring, we can take a look at this area here. Now this is the most important area for why these cheap coilovers leak. First of all, if we take this bird off, you can see that there's no complete seal around the shaft here. And then the second thing is, with an OEM bump stop, these are placed up here. Now what happens is, as the shock compresses, this rubber mount slides up and down the shaft, and this can actually wear out the hardening on the shaft. The third thing is, because this doesn't seal correctly around the shaft, what happens is dirt gets into this top of this seal and then it wears grooves into the shaft, and that's what causes the leaking. So what we're going to do is change this boot to a universal rack boot. These are really cheap, they're like $8, and you basically can cut these down to size, which we'll do. And if you're running a monopro shock absorber with an inverted tube, you can actually get boots that are big enough to fit those as well. So measure your shaft and then measure the coilover body and then order the right boot to suit. So once we cut this down, we can see that we've got pretty much perfect fit. Now, the next thing is, how do we mount the bump stop above the boot so that it's not rubbing against here? So what you would do, you would use either rubber glue or rubber cement or something, and you can simply mount him on top of the boot, and then that goes here. We can put that on. If you cut it really tight like I did, you might have to stretch it on there a little bit. Let's get it down first. Because we're trying to fit a boot and the bump stop through the same hole, it's going to be really tight. But that's what we want. Alright, so we're almost there. Okay, that's over now. So let's push this back down. There we go. Alright, now we've got a perfect seal around the body, got a perfect seal around the shaft, and our bump stop is now at the top of the coilover so it's not rubbing against the shaft. There's not much you can do for the hardening of these shafts. If you're using a really cheap coilover, the material that they use for the shock rod may be cheap and you might not be able to avoid that, but anything you can do to prolong the life of this is going to help you in the long run. So the next part, with cheap coilovers, people always complaining, why are they seizing? Why can't I get any adjustment? And the biggest mistake is that people throw these in the car straight off the bat. You can't do that. Sure, they have an anti-rust coating and they have a tiny little bit of lubricant on there. That's not good enough. After 6 months, that's all gone. So what we need to do, we need to completely take the shock body off. Now, I've never seen these collars seize up. If you can't move them, it's because you're not putting enough effort into it. So once we get the base bracket off, we go and get anti-seize, high temp bearing grease, chain lube, anything you want to put on there. But we need to create a barrier between the shock body and the lower mount. So that's all we need to do there. And as we wind it up, that's going to create a barrier in the threads and stop that from ever seizing. Alright, now we're back together. We don't actually need to lubricate these collars because, as you can see, they make these really loose. So if they're ever seized up, all you need to do is hit them with a little bit of WD-40 and you're right to go. Then you can put your spring back on, adjust your heights correctly, top hat back on, take your measurements from before you started the car and minus the measurements so that you can get the correct ride height, and then we're back in the car. Now, in a perfect world, you wouldn't have to do these preventative steps. Some coilovers don't come with dust boosts or bump stops, but they use high quality seals and have been designed to be installed with no maintenance. But almost all of the cheap coilovers suffer from these common problems, so you make the call and do what feels right for you. Now we can go ahead and slap it all back together the same way it came out. There are a million different opinions on how you should set up your coilover height, base height on the lower bracket, captive spring, non-captive spring, so on and so forth. But instead of trying to convince people that their bro facts are wrong, I'll leave you with this. Spring preload makes no difference on linear springs. Unless you're running progressive spring rates or helper springs, you do not need spring preload. All this does is reduce the amount of droop you have. Try to set up the coils in the middle of their working range, as going too low on the spring perch can cause your shocks to bottom out in the cartridge, and going too low on the base bracket can cause binding in the suspension arc, and that's just no fun for anyone. As a final note, make sure that any rubber suspension bush that has a range of movement, i.e. lower control arms, upper control arms, knuckle bushes, etc., are loosened and then retightened at your final ride height, as lowering the car and not resetting this range of movement in the bush will cause it to tear and wear out prematurely. This is less important with poly bushes and not required at all for pillow ball style suspension bushes. Here is the final product. That is it, guys. I hope this saves you some money and helps you out in the long run. The main thing is here to protect what you got before you lose it. If you like what you see today, make sure you hit that like button, even consider subscribing so you don't miss out on anything coming up. That's it, guys. Bye!